So the definition of a Gen Zer is 18 to 22. So they are the new workforce, and of course the millennials are the 23s to 38. You're still a millennial.
I'm afraid not.
No.
But I could come across one.
You could. So it is interesting that, as you mentioned, but with this article that the Gen Zers are 4 times more likely to talk about mental health.
And I think social media has a major impact as to bringing about awareness, and also just being able to openly talk about mental illness. In addition, the stigma to the illness itself has definitely changed. Before, in previous generations, they don't really talk about it. It's not something that they even, go to their physicians and discuss and try to seek help. But now it's something that, the landscape has changed. I mean, culture has changed in terms of how one would address that.
No, it makes complete sense. We see the baby boomers where they're just very reserved from emotions and not necessarily willing to bridge the gap between personal,
right,
how I feel personally, and how I feel at work. But the interesting thing was even the type of industry. So you mentioned the social culture. Well, that goes right into play that
yes,
this article was talking about tech companies. So 55% of those who worked in tech companies said that they had voluntarily left a job because of their mental health struggles.
right.
And maybe that has something. Maybe that goes along with a tech company's kind of a startup.
Very stressful environment.
Very stressful environment.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Sure.
So one of the things that when I used to be an employee, sometimes the bosses sort of want you to be part of the company, but also there's no clarity in roles. Like you clock out at 3 or 4 o'clock, but then they're messaging you at 6, and then they say, oh, but you can respond tomorrow. But then you have, as a millennial, because I'm 28 years old, so I felt that sense of responding, obviously, and then
Right.
that mental health in this part sort of played a role, at least in my.
Yes.
And that's a great point, Isaac. That oftentimes with the baby boomers, at 5 o'clock or 6
You're
o'clock
done.
when they left,
Yes.
technology there wasn't technology.
There wasn't.
So that you didn't have.
There's that separation.
That's right. There's true separation. So even though maybe they worked 40 to 60 hours a week, when they were off, they were off.
Right.
And when they took vacation, they took vacation. So it's interesting that because we're so blended now with work,
Right.
and non-work. To Isaac's point, an email from your boss at 7 o'clock doesn't
Or 11.
Or 11 doesn't mean that I can wait till I get in the office tomorrow.
Right.
Because typically you're thinking, well, if my boss is emailing me, then it
Right.
must be important.
Well, that's why they say turn off your phone when you're home. Turn off your devices and make sure that you're focused on, just the things outside of work. I mean, you have to broaden your scope of activities where you're not just focused on one thing, which is work. I mean, you have to have other things apart from that.